On a chilling New Year's Eve in 1995, amidst the bustling streets of New York City, a group of friends gathered in an upscale apartment for what was supposed to be a night of celebration. But as the clock struck midnight, the laughter and joy turned into fear and confusion. One of their own, young, vibrant, and full of life, vanished without a trace. What happened next would haunt them forever. The apartment was buzzing with excitement. Among the attendees was Amanda Carter, a 24-year-old artist known for her warm personality and magnetic charm. As the night unfolded, Amanda mingled, laughed, and danced, but by 12:15 a.m., she was nowhere to be found. Panic set in as her friends searched every corner of the apartment. Hours passed, and just when they were about to call the police, they stumbled upon the unimaginable. Amanda was found lifeless inside a small closet in the guest room. The door was locked from the inside. There were no signs of struggle, and her expression was eerily calm. Authorities were baffled. The closet lock was an older mechanism, impossible to manipulate from the outside. No fingerprints, no signs of forced entry. Security footage showed no strangers entering or leaving the apartment that night. It was as if Amanda had been trapped by an invisible force. Over the years, theories swirled. Some whispered about Amanda's interest in the occult, suggesting she might have summoned something she couldn't control. Others believed it was a targeted attack, executed with chilling precision. Yet, with no evidence, the case faded into obscurity, leaving only questions. Today, the apartment remains vacant, its dark history scaring away potential tenants. Some claim to hear whispers near the closet where Amanda was found, a chilling reminder of the night she vanished from the world of the living. What really happened to Amanda Carter? Was it an elaborate crime, a tragic accident, or something beyond human understanding? Perhaps we'll never know. But one thing remains certain: the mystery of the locked room will haunt anyone who dares to remember that fateful New Year's Eve. Paris, 2004, a city of lights and love, transformed into a stage for one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries. It was New Year's Eve, and amidst the joyous chaos of a masquerade ball, a mysterious figure emerged. His mask was grotesque, his words haunting, and his presence unforgettable. By the next day, 3 partygoers were dead. Who was the masked man? And what dark secrets did he carry? The celebration took place in a grand Parisian mansion, its opulent chandeliers casting a golden glow over a sea of masked faces. It was a tradition. Each New Year's Eve, the city's elite gathered to dance away the past and welcome the future. Among them that night was a man whose mask was unlike any other. It wasn't beautiful or ornate. It was grotesque, a hollowed face with deep, empty eyes and a sinister grin. At first, the masked man blended into the crowd, his movements fluid and deliberate. But as the night wore on, his behavior grew peculiar. He spoke of death in vivid detail, of how fragile life was, of how easily it could be snatched away. His words unsettled many, but they dismissed it as part of his eerie costume persona. After all, it was a masquerade. As the clock struck midnight, champagne glasses clinked, and fireworks illuminated the Parisian skyline. Amid the revelry, the masked man was gone. No one saw him leave, nor did anyone recognize his voice or mannerisms. It was as though he had vanished into thin air, leaving behind an eerie silence where his unsettling presence once was. The next morning, a chilling discovery sent shockwaves through the city. 3 guests from the party were found dead in their homes. The cause of death was identical in each case: a precise incision over the heart, no signs of struggle, and no evidence left behind. Authorities were baffled. How could someone commit such perfect crimes without leaving a trace? Rumors began to swirl. Some believed masked man was a ghost, a vengeful spirit seeking retribution. Others speculated he was a deranged killer using the masquerade to hide in plain sight. But no mask or clues were ever recovered. Over time, the case became a chilling legend whispered by those who dared to remember that cursed night. To this day, the mask of death remains a grim reminder of the fine line between celebration and terror. Who was the man behind the mask, and did he ever strike again? Perhaps, on another New Year's Eve, someone will see that haunting skeletal grin, and the nightmare will begin anew. The Mask of Death remains an unsolved mystery, a story that chills the soul and leaves us questioning the unknown. What do you think? Was this a supernatural force or a carefully orchestrated crime? Share your theories in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more unsettling tales. Sydney, Australia, New Year's Eve, 1978. A lively celebration in a public park ended in an inexplicable tragedy. 12 partygoers vanished without a trace, only to reappear days later, dead and scattered across the city. What happened that night remains one of Australia's most chilling mysteries. This is the story of the missing New Year's revelers. The air was alive with laughter and music as groups gathered to welcome the new year. Among them were 12 friends, all in their 20s, who had chosen the city park for their celebration. They brought blankets, drinks, and food, settling under a canopy of stars to watch the fireworks. By all accounts, it was a night full of joy and carefree revelry. But as the clocks struck midnight, something strange happened. Witnesses reported seeing the group standing in a circle, holding hands as if performing a ritual. Moments later, they were gone. Their blankets, belongings, and even their half-full glasses of champagne were left behind undisturbed. No one saw them leave, and no one heard a sound. For days, the city was gripped with fear and confusion. Then, one by one, the bodies began to appear. Each was found in a different location: an alleyway, a rooftop, a riverbank. None showed signs of struggle, injury, or cause of death. It was as though life had simply stopped for them, leaving their faces frozen in an expression of eerie calm. Witnesses who saw the group that night reported nothing unusual until the final moments. One observer claimed the group was murmuring in unison, though the words were unintelligible. Another swore they saw a faint glow encircle them before they disappeared. The stories were dismissed as hysteria, but the mystery only deepened. Speculation ran wild. Some believed the group had fallen victim to a sinister cult, while others whispered of extraterrestrial abductions or a portal to another dimension. The police, however, had no answers. Despite thorough investigations, no evidence of foul play or natural causes was ever found. Today, the case remains unsolved, and the park has become a place of uneasy silence. Some say the group's spirits linger there, their laughter occasionally heard on quiet New Year's Eves. Others avoid the park entirely, fearing they might join the ranks of the missing. What happened to the missing revelers of Sydney in 1978? Was it a supernatural event, a human act of horror, or something beyond comprehension? Let us know your theories in the comments below. And as always, be careful where you celebrate this New Year's Eve. In the remote wilderness of Russia, hidden beneath layers of snow and ice, lies an abandoned railway tunnel steeped in terror. In 1989, a group of young thrill seekers ventured into its depths, chasing adventure. What they found instead was a nightmare, one that not all of them would escape from. This is the story of Haunted Tunnel. In the remote wilderness of Russia, hidden beneath layers of snow and ice, lies an abandoned railway tunnel steeped in terror. In 1989, a group of young thrill seekers ventured into its depths, chasing adventure. What they found instead was a nightmare, one that not all of them would escape from. This is the story of Haunted Tunnel. On a freezing December night in 1989, 5 young friends dared to enter the tunnel. They were locals who had grown up hearing the tales of its haunted past. Armed with flashlights and a sense of bravado, they laughed off the warnings, eager to uncover the truth. The tunnel, located in a desolate region of Siberia, was once a critical part of a railway project during the Soviet era. Construction stopped abruptly in the 1960s after a series of mysterious accidents claimed the lives of several workers. The locals whispered that the tunnel was cursed, a place where the dead lingered, their souls trapped in eternal darkness. At first, the tunnel seemed like nothing more than a forgotten relic. The air was damp, and the silence was suffocating. But as they ventured deeper, strange things began to happen. The temperature dropped sharply, and their flashlights flickered inexplicably. One of them swore they heard whispers echoing through the walls. Halfway through the tunnel, the whispers grew louder, transforming into agonized screams. One of the friends, Alexei, froze in place, his eyes wide with terror. "They're coming," he whispered. Before anyone could react, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness, its form human-like but distorted, its eyes glowing with an unnatural light. Panic set in. The group ran, their footsteps echoing chaotically through the tunnel. But the shadows seemed to follow, growing closer with every step. As they reached the exit, one of them, Dmitri, tripped and fell. Despite their efforts to pull him up, he was dragged back into the darkness, his screams cutting off abruptly. The survivors emerged into the freezing night, shaken and breathless. They immediately reported the incident to local authorities, but searches for Dmitri yielded nothing. No footprints, no signs of struggle, just an eerie silence in the tunnel's depths. To this day, his body was never found. The haunted tunnel has since been sealed off, but it remains a chilling symbol of the unknown. Some say Dimitri's cries can still be heard on cold, quiet nights. Others claim to have seen shadowy figures moving near the entrance. Whatever lurks in the tunnel, one thing is certain: it doesn't want to be disturbed. The haunted tunnel remains one of Russia's most terrifying legends. Was it supernatural force or something darker hidden in the shadows of history? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, some places are best left undisturbed. In a quiet Canadian suburb in 2012, a tragic fire destroyed a family home, taking the lives of its 3 residents. But as investigators searched for answers, they uncovered chilling details that defied explanation. Locals believe the house wasn't just a victim of flames. It was cursed. Welcome to the story of the burning house. The house stood on the edge of a dense forest, its weathered facade hiding decades of secrets. It was home to the Millers, Thomas, his wife Clara, and their 12-year-old daughter, Sophie. They were a quiet family, keeping to themselves. But neighbors often reported strange occurrences, shadows moving in the windows, whispers in the dead of night, and Sophie talking to imaginary friends in the backyard. On October 13th, 2012, tragedy struck. Around 3:00 a.m., a raging fire engulfed the home. Despite desperate attempts by firefighters, the Millers didn't make it out. Witnesses described the flames as unnatural, intensely bright, yet strangely cold to the touch. By morning, the house was reduced to ash, leaving behind only questions. Fire investigators searched the ruins for clues, but what they found only deepened the mystery. The fire had no clear origin, no faulty wiring, no flammable materials, and no signs of accelerants. Stranger still, certain objects survived untouched. An antique mirror in perfect condition, and Sophie's favorite doll sitting eerily intact amidst the ashes. As news of the fire spread, so did the rumors. The house, they said, had a dark history. Decades earlier, a family of 3 had also died there under mysterious circumstances, each member found locked in different rooms. Some claimed the land itself was cursed. Others believed Sophie had awakened something dark with her imaginary friends. Even after the fire, the land didn't rest. Passersby reported seeing a glowing figure of a young girl standing where the house once stood, her form flickering like a flame. Others heard faint laughter at night echoing from the woods. The Millers, it seemed, had not truly left. Today, the land remains vacant, avoided by locals and shrouded in fear. No one dares to rebuild, leaving the story of the burning house to linger, a chilling reminder of the unknown forces that sometimes defy reason. Was the burning house a tragic accident, a manifestation of a curse, or something far darker? The truth remains buried in the ashes. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, some mysteries are better left unsolved.